you put more in Lagos than in other states of the Federation should be put into proper context. Lagos is a no man's land. Lagos is the hub of Nigeria. Lagos is the
Hello and what's up, guys? In this video, we need to talk about the explosive statement shaking the whole nation right now. President Tinubu'S Aide, Daniel Bwala, has declared Lagos as a no man's land. And trust me, Nigerians everywhere are reacting. On Arise TV's Daybreak program, Bwala described Lagos not just as any other state, but as the true pride of Nigeria's economy. According to him, federal projects in Lagos should not be seen as favoritism, but as vital investment in the nation's commercial heartbeat. Now, listen closely to what he said. In his word, Lagos is a no man's land. In the last election, the president, who comes from the southwest, did not even win Lagos. That shows the cosmopolitan nature of Lagos. Bwala went further to paint a picture. He said the richest man in Africa, Aliko Dangote, is from the north, but his business empire is in Lagos. And not just him, almost every wealthy Nigerian has business undertakings there. He stressed that Lagos belongs to everyone, not just the Yoruba-speaking majority. But that's not all. Bwala compared Lagos to global hubs like London, New York and Paris, cities that hold more investment and infrastructure than entire region in their countries. For him, Lagos is Nigeria's version of that global model. And then came the bombshell, defending the massive 3.9 trillion federal project reportedly allocated to Lagos in just 2 years. Bwala doubled down and said again, Lagos is a no man's land. Lagos is the hope of Nigeria. Lagos is the pride of the country. Guys, this statement is already sparking a nationwide political debate. Some say it is the truth, others say it is an insult to the indigenous people of Lagos. The tension is real. Guys, I'll let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
Now, President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria has achieved its 2025 revenue target ahead of schedule, driven by stronger non-oil earnings. He explained that this progress removes the need for new borrowing, noting improvements in exchange rates and signs of a stabilizing economy. Now, Tinubu spoke at the State House while receiving members of the Buhari organization, led by former Nasarawa Governor Tanko Al-Makura, with House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and former Katsina Governor Aminu Masari also present. Now, the delegation praised his leadership and commended the honor given to the late President Muhammadu Buhari with a full state burial. On behalf of the group, they pledged unwavering loyalty ahead of 2027, while Speaker Abbas assured Tinubu of full support from the CPC bloc nationwide. In response, the president promised to expand jobs through exports, industry and agriculture, while upholding transparency and justice as guiding values of his administration.
Well, for more on this and the performance of the Tinubu administration, we'll bring in the special advisor to the President on Media and Policy Communications, Dr. Daniel Bwala. Thank you for joining us on this program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Okay, so we'll quickly take up the fresh and screaming headlines that it looks befuddling to many Nigerians, and that's the fact that the President made a categorical statement that the government, his government, has met its revenue targets, talking about the non-oil revenue, at the same time making a very spurious one that many found contradictory, admitting that there is a budgetary shortfall in funding the missions abroad. What do you make of such reality, also in the face of very scary statistics? The multidimensional poverty is still 33%, meaning that over 70 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. Dr. Daniel Bwala, I want you to quickly react to this.
Well, good morning and thank you for having me. I believe very strongly that yesterday's, the breaking news that the president gave is a wonderful news to the ears of the Nigerian people, especially because when he came on board, there was no money on ground. We had to borrow. In fact, the president before he came was to borrow to pay salaries, to borrow to eat. There are certain things that we could have probably structured the economy in a way where we didn't have to borrow to pay salaries. But he dealt with those basic problems, that we do not borrow to pay salaries by the increased revenue that we have given to, the states have been able to access. All the states of the Federation are paying salaries, they are paying the minimum wage, they are undertaking projects. Some of them are even offsetting the loans that they took. And they are doing one or two things that you could see around. At the federal government level, the president has successfully restructured the economy in such a way that the trajectory now is speaking positives. If you look at the numbers, when you talked about the scary number, talking about multidimensional poverty, I thought that you could have put it in context. Because if you contextualize it, you will see that straight for 4 months straight, we have seen the reduction of food prices. 4 months straight, we have seen the strengthening of the Naira. We have not, what I believe to be a breaking news should have been the fact that now the Chinese traders prefer to trade with Naira rather than with dollars. What should be the breaking news should be the fact that we're able to meet our revenue target in August, when we targeted to meet by December, and we made it in August. It means that we have a lot of revenue to undertake a lot of projects. What should be the breaking news should be the infrastructural development that we see all across the country, which is creating jobs. And it is strengthening these anti-insecurity measures that were placed. So there are quite a number of things that are breaking. Okay. But when you talk about multidimensional poverty, as a government, we are not denying the fact that because of the population size and where we're coming from, right, we know that there is poverty in the land. But the government effort to deal with that is what should be appreciated.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Now, because our time is fast spent, very quickly, I like that you touched on projects, infrastructural projects specifically, because the past 3 days, infrastructural projects and equity of distribution of projects across the country has been top of conversation. Now, the Daily Trust, of course, had done the expose over the weekend where they relayed the 2.9 trillion that had been spent on projects in Lagos State. The presidency has responded and given an outline of what they are saying the equitable share of projects. However, this explanation removed Lagos State. It looked at the rest of the country, but still negated Lagos State, whereas the question was, why is Lagos State lopsided in comparison to other regions? So why are we not hitting the nail on the head here?
Let me tell you why Lagos State is different. Lagos State is a no man's land. In the last election, the president who comes from the southwest did not win Lagos. That tells you the cosmopolitan nature of Lagos State. Secondly, the richest man in Africa is a northerner. His business is not in Kano, it's in Lagos. Almost every rich man that you know in Nigeria has business undertaking in Lagos. And the Nigerian people are represented in Lagos. You go to Lagos, if not because probably majority of the people are Yoruba speaking, you will wonder whether Lagos indeed is from the southwest. London has
but does this negate the fact that other regions also want to have their own hubs?
Let me land. London has more investment than the entire states in England put together. New York has infrastructure, all investment, more than all the states of more than the rest of the states in the United States, including California. Paris has more investment than anywhere. So in every country, wherever you find the commercial nerve of that country, you are likely to see the need to put infrastructure in place in order to boost the economy of that country. Whatever Lagos benefits the country. So the idea that you put more in Lagos than in other states of the federation should be put into proper context. Lagos is a no man's land. Lagos is the hub of Nigeria. Lagos is the pride of the country. Lagos is the beacon of economic growth of the country.
Now, Dr. Bwala, let me just jump in here and chime in with this question. You had spoken about, earlier on, we were speaking about food, and you said one of the things President Tinubu said is, and I quote, if you remove hunger from poverty, you have defeated poverty. So among the hot topics at the moment is the issue of food security and the introduction of GMO. Now, in June, let me remind you that Bill Gates was conferred a national honor in the area of health and specifically agriculture. What is the stance of the FG in regard to the growing concerns of the safety when it comes to food?
Well, and of course also have to add to what you said, which speaks of the interest of the government in dealing with poverty and hunger in the land. You recall that about 1 month ago, when the World Food Program complained that because of the actions of the President of the United States, a lot of multinational and non-governmental organizations in the northeastern Nigeria were pulling out. It means that about 2 million Nigerians are going to be in poverty, or they are going to suffer, they are going to perish and all that. The president, long before this incident, had, should I say, foresaw, and then he took measures to deal with this problem. And you can see the intervention of government in the northern Nigeria in dealing with malnutrition. If you look at the healthcare sector, you see what is going on there. If you look at the interventions of government with respect to the provision of food and food items to the people there, in the intervention. That is why the president, in his own wisdom, because
Dr. Bwala,
can I land, please? That's why if you look at Nigeria, poverty is largely in the northern Nigeria, and the president ensured that the Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Livestock come from the northern Nigeria so they can deal with that problem. So there is a government effort to deal with hunger and to deal with lack of food, or the food to handle food security effectively.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Now, you spoke about Lagos being a no man's land. I'm sure some people will be very interested to hear that. But beyond that, you know, certain things that you said today, New York is not bigger than California. California is even the 4th largest economy in the world. And if we're talking about food inflation reducing over the last couple of months, food inflation is still double digits, over 30%, around 33%. It is large, it's one of the highest figures across the world, but even harvest season, so this is why it's lowering. But let's talk about something important. Your role as the president.
No, you're already wrong. You didn't listen. I never said. Let me fact check you. I never said New York is bigger than California. That's the problem with anchors. I said the infrastructure and investment in New York is bigger than California, and I challenge you to it. The economy of New York is bigger than the economy of California. Okay. That was what I said. I never said it's bigger. So get that one right.
Okay. I'm talking about the economy of California being larger than the economy of New York, but that's not the focus. We're not in America, we're here in Nigeria. So let's go back to what I was speaking on. Policy, you're the special advisor on policy communication. And there has been an argument that our policy articulation by the Tinubu administration has been very poor. That wrong information is put out, there's misspellings, there's retracted information, there's retracted appointments. And one of the criticisms is that people in your role are focused on politics rather than policy. The Nigerians want policy implementation. We want action. We do not want politicking. So what do you say to people who say that your focus is on politicking rather than policy?
First of all, there are no people that say it. It is you that is saying it, because otherwise, as an anchor, you will cite the source of that information. But I will answer your question. If you are paying attention, you will see that this government, through the various ministries, departments, and agencies, have been reeling out policies, discussing policies. Only about 2 weeks ago or so, the Minister of Trade and Investment discussed about government policy with respect to investment and how investment is coming into Nigeria. I am sure you are expecting a singular communication team speaking before you can be convinced that policy is being communicated. In terms of saying, presidency saying something and retracting, it's government, it's what we call government under construction. Do you make mistake or don't you make mistake in Channels Television? Right. If you say we reel out information that turned out to be untrue, and we stand our ground, haven't been probably advised that it is not that is not true, then that's a different conversation altogether.
Dr. Bwala, but if it's good that you've admitted that errors could be made. It's air to human. So, but one very important last one before we go, just to put things in the proper context. Talking about meeting the president's revenue target, we just need to be clear. We are running on 3 budgetary lane now: the supplementary budget of 2024, the 2024 budget, and the 2025 budget. So which revenue are we talking about? Revenue in terms of what? In terms of the budget. The president has just said yesterday. Crisis now. The president, we are working. If you look at, probably if you want to interrogate more about budget, I can get you somebody from the budget office to answer that. But if you heard the president very well yesterday, he said our revenue target for the year, we were able to meet it in August, and that is even the non-oil revenue. Then he proceeded to say that that means we have the opportunity to do more in the area of investment and the economy. I believe that is... Okay, we press